Okay, so this is part 2 of the video. Because I don't even know. I think my hand hit the button or something while I was talking. I was like, no, no, we're not done. Hold up. So yeah, it's time to. It's a time where we're integrating both our sides. You know, we're becoming whole. We're becoming whole, and it's very difficult, especially to embrace what you've turned your back to for many, 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 many years. You know, when to embrace how, you know, life has complete, like how you just turn your back to whatever side, whatever you turned your back on, you know, for whatever reasons. You know, it's like we have to be a whole being. And that's almost like the last step in the evolutionary process. And it's hard to accept. It's hard to, you know, um, we're righting wrongs, you know, within ourselves and in the universe, with energies. It's like, you know, I'm learning that there are better ways to communicate. Um, you know, when I'm upset, or when I'm, you know, or disgruntled. Um, besides raising my voice and, you know, using borrowed language. That's what I grew up around. And so I'm learning, you know, as I embrace the darkness of myself, that there are better ways to communicate my darkness. There are better ways to communicate the anger or the rage that I feel. And matter of fact, I don't have to feel the anger or the rage. You know, we can bring calmness to darkness. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can allow, you know, instead of like, I'm instead of trying to control it, you know, because that's what I've been trying to do for 2 days now. Like yesterday, I just like shut down. Like, I completely just shut down. Like, I was just like, you know, I don't know what to do. You know, like, I really don't know what to do. Um, and you know, I was just like, God, you know, I can't control my darkness. You know, you know, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I can really like control this or not. Not saying that I was like completely raging, but within me, just that my darkness is like rage. It's like anger. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because I've suppressed it for so long, like because I've turned my back on it, just like you would do anyone or ignore anyone, they would just feel like so angry, or, you know, like they would have this rage, you know, because it's like you abandon me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel in my dark. Like, I just feel a lot of anger and rage, and I just wanted to like break things. Like, it was just like, you know, you just like, I just want to throw my phone right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to really express. And that's the thing. I haven't expressed my darkness. You know, I'm like, so, you know, I chose the light, and I chose like to stay away from, you know, disharmony. I chose to stay away from arguments. I chose not to embrace negativity at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I wanted to say what I wanted to say, I associated saying that with, you know, negativity, arguments, fights, you know, and stuff like that. So I would never really say anything. I would never express how I felt. But it's time now. You know, it's time to do it in an intelligent, wise way, wise manner, and to allow that expression. You know, because it just it's going to allow us to feel better. It's going to allow us to become more powerful in our stance, and it's going to allow us to really connect more with God and spirit. It is going to allow us to really utilize all our gifts, because really in the darkness there are things that can help us, um, in our sole purpose. And so, um, you know, whatever you've been, you know, whatever side you've chosen. And I guess it would be a good time to really reflect on if you turn your back to light, and that's if you've not really been too keen on God, or if you haven't really prayed, or if you really never believed in God, then it would be, then you turn your back to light. If you haven't really had the love philosophy, or if you've never, really been an argumentative person or stuff. I mean, you have the ability to discern, what areas of life you turn your back to, um, and so it's very difficult. I'm gonna tell you, the energies are very, very powerful, and in the midst of integrating both uh, left and right and we're also powerful. We're also really creative at this time. We're also empowered to move forward in whatever endeavors that we have. We're also, you know, uh, doing. If we said that we're going to do it, we're doing it. We're also, allowing the universe to use us. We're also, setting up, our lives for to live better lives and to live healthier. And so it's just not, negative things happening. This is very positive. And, stay strong. I wanted to give up yesterday. I mean, at around this time last night, I was just like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. It's like, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. I guess it's going to be different for everyone else, but I'm two air signs, and my ascendant is Pisces. So I'm just like, when it comes down to emotions and communication, it's like, this is who I am, and it was just very difficult. But I got word from Spirit last night. It's like, you have to go through the transformation. Like, there's no giving up. Like, you've come so far that it's not like you can't even turn around. So prepare yourself for going through this and coming out you know victorious. So I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, if God says it, then hey, we're doing it. For the twin flames, that I hope that you guys are still with me right now. There is a message for you. A lot of my, it's 11:11 right now. It's crazy. A lot of my um, you know pain comes from uh, I guess not really trusting the journey and not really trusting my divine feminine. And ultimately, I guess, that boils down to not really trusting myself. Um, the trust, and this journey is all about trust. You know, the most difficult thing on the journey for me is to know that I've been through so much. You know, we've all been through so much. The divine feminine has been through a lot. The divine masculine has been through a lot. The people around us has been through a lot. And to just, you know, not feel as if, to feel like, man, I don't want to go through all of this and not have, like, the person that lives within me. Like, like that desire that burns within me. Um, Um, and so I become like enraged, like engulfed in all these thoughts of like, you know, what if like she really doesn't love me? You know, like what if like I'm going through all of this and like she's happily involved with someone and this is, you know, we're never ever going to be together. And you know, it like, you know, sometimes I'm like really believing in this, and then it's like I'm just like, you know, how do I know like she's waiting for me, or how do I know like, you know, there's nothing like that I know that she, I mean, why, you know? So it's like I get to the point where I get angry about that, you know, because it's like, why can't we just say, you know, that we want this and just make everything so much easier? Like I don't understand. And and so like I just get to the point where I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to do this. You know, I don't want to do this. Like, and it's hard because it's like when you turn your back to the to whatever dynamic, like when you turn your back to this, it's it's like this, it gets more vibrant in your chest or something. I don't know, but it's very, you know, hard to think about if, you know, this person shares your soul. And the other day I was just like, why would, you know, God allow another human being to have such influence in your life and have such influence on your energy and, you know, have such influence on your thoughts, like, you know, because you feel them, like they're inside, like you feel them. And so I'm just like, why would God do that? You know, and I was like, man, that it's just so unfair. You know, especially if they're not like on a spiritual journey, or especially if they really don't want to be with you. I think that's like, that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, so it's like God was like, look, you're putting too much emphasis on this union thing. You know, I know you love her. You know, you're putting too much emphasis on it though, because this is not what this is totally about. Like this is not totally about union, you know, with someone else. You know, this is about your spiritual and personal evolution. You know, this is about your spiritual and personal evolution. You know, this is about you becoming whole. You know, this is about you becoming whole. This is about, you know, you becoming whole so that you can be in a wholesome relationship. You know, this is about having healthy relationships. This is about having a healthy relationship with you, with the self. This is about having a healthy relationship with God, with your family, with your spouse, you know, with your children, with the universe, with earth. This is what this is about. You know, and you, it's like, what makes it easier is to know that it's like, this is about you. This is not about you and someone else, because you can't control anyone else. So that really makes me feel good, because in a sense it's like, I don't want to be waiting on someone. And you know, I don't want anyone waiting on me, like, because I don't want to say, okay, this is definite, this is your person, and I've set my heart and my mind up to that, and that person has no idea that I'm in love with them or wants to be, you know. So it's like, God is like, look, this is about you. You know, this is about you. This is about, you know, you evolving, and this is about spirit. This is about, you know, earth. This is about something way deeper than just one union, you know. Um, and so, you know, it made complete sense to me when that was given to me, and I was really relieved by a lot of stress. You know, I think it's stressful for me because you know, my divine feminine never really admitted to any of this twin flame stuff. So it's like, you know, I'm just walking on blind faith. And at a certain point in time, it's like I just want to live. I just want to live. You know, like a happy life, and I just want my energy to be where I want it to be, and not, you know, separated by, you know, someone else. I think that's one of the things that really bothers me. Um, one flame. Um, I'm trying to hear about any more messages for the twin flame, correct? Um, so this morning, um, I woke up and very grateful. Thank you, God. Um, and I had this feeling that I just really wanted to, you know, really amplify in my purpose. Um, really amplify in my ministry, basically. Um, and you know, not be so focused on lack of union that it hinders what God has placed me here to do. Um, you know, and to connect with my strength. You know, because part of, I feel like part of you know, there are dark energies. You know, we know that are very um, deceitful when it comes down to our thoughts and our feelings. And you know, darkness is always trying to divide. You know, it's always trying to use different tools to keep us divided, keep our attention divided, and not really focused on uh, what we need to be focused on. You know, and I think sometimes we are being, you know, deceived by this, by love. I think sometimes if we're not really careful and prayed up and really protecting ourselves, then I think that darkness can play a big part on using love to divide us and deceive us. Um, and so I think a good thing to do when we start to feel, and this is just coming to me, like this is just revelation right now. A good thing to do when we start to feel divided, as far as when we are, you know, working and all of a sudden we have this overwhelming feeling of our twin that may not cause us happiness, then we know that it is darkness. And so you know, a good statement to recant when that happens is we are one. Like, I am one within myself. Like, I am a whole being, and I shall remain a whole being. Um, and the biggest thing is not to allow, um, you know, your this other person to bring you any type of displeasure. You know, again, darkness can deceive, and I think it's very important for us to just really focus on building the connection with God and becoming so clean and renewed that we can shine as we do as soldiers in the army of God. And I mean, so yeah, this is more. It's just more about. It's more than union. It's more than just be growing in union with someone. And sometimes I just feel like it gets so heavy on me. Sometimes I just feel like just leave me alone. You know, just the thoughts of union, of just waiting. It's like it's gotten really old to me, and I feel like we shouldn't be waiting for anything but God. And really, we don't have to wait for God because God isn't within us. So if we have to wait for anything, then it's not. I don't feel like that's. We shouldn't be holding our lives in place, for someone. If you want to hold that space, I think that we can hold that space, and even then, like, we are separating ourselves. As far as there's a hole within us. We are, you know, giving someone we are energizing someone else when we could be using that energy for ourselves. And so um, if you're holding space for someone, make sure that they're holding space for you. So I hope that you guys enjoy this message, and remember there are part 1 and part 2. This is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, please do so. Alright, have a good one. Happy Sunday.